Hello everybody, it's Mike here at Game From Scratch, and does this application in the screenshot behind you look familiar? Does it look a little bit like some application you know, possibly Photoshop? Well, that is what we are looking at today. This is without a doubt a Photoshop clone. It is called Photopea or Photopea. I'm not sure which way you pronounce that. I actually like Photopea better, but I think it's probably Photopea. Anyways, this is a clone of Photoshop. It's pretty much simply put. And actually, it's been around for quite a while. And unfortunately, I just have been completely unaware of it. Now, if you've been following this channel for a while, you know I've been putting the free game dev resources together, one of which was a list of free 2D game 2D graphic applications. You can see the list in front of you. And the nice thing is about when I put these things together, sometimes you guys catch stuff that I have missed completely and say, hey, what about this? And Photopea, or Photopea, whichever one you want to pronounce it as, is one of the ones that was suggested to me. I had never heard of this, even though it had been around for quite some time. And so I checked it out, and frankly, it really blew my mind. This is Photopea. And one thing you may have noticed here is this is running in my web browser. Yes, this is a web app. Sorry to see the people go that just left. But even if you're just curious how well they managed to translate Photoshop into a web browser, they did a very impressive job. And there's actually some real value here. Now, I'm gonna start things off and put it this way. Is this a replacement for Photoshop? God, no, not even close. We were talking, Photoshop has been around for 30 plus years. Photoshop has probably tens of millions of man hours, if not more, of development time, probably $billion+ invested in it over that course of time. It has made a multi-billion-dollar company out of Adobe as a result. So no, it's not a replacement for Photoshop for full-time Photoshop people. But for people like me who casually use Photoshop, who use maybe 5 to 10 to 20% of its functionality, well, that's a different story because this thing is impressive. So if you ever used Photoshop before, you probably know that everything you're seeing in front of you. This is a straight out clone. The active tools are all down the side here, and you've got pretty much every tool you would have expected from Photoshop itself. You've got things in here like, you've got your selection tools. Ellipse and rectangular selection, you can see the hotkey to the side. They also use the same basic hotkey layout, so you should be immediately comfortable if you come over. Come down here, you've got your magic wand selection. It does a decent job. So you see here, you've got your additional controls on how to handle it, the feathering, the refinement, and so on. You've got tools here for cropping. You've got your eyedropper, eraser, and then where I mostly use Photoshop for myself is texture creation. So there are certain things I need, like the clone brush, which is available right here, and then blends and blurring and smudging tools. So you see here, we got a blur tool that blurs. Oh, I've got a selection going. All right, let's get rid of my selection. So blur tool in action right there. You can see that's one that I use heavily. Smudge tool. And you'll find these generally in most modern paint packages, simply because most modern paint packages have been knocking off and cloning Photoshop since Photoshop became the top dog. But the stuff you need is here. The only one I'm not going to showcase personally is I'm not going to go into the text tools. There are text tools there. They actually work fairly well, but they also crashed Firefox once. So I don't want to risk that during the demonstration. But do be aware, I did experience at least one crash, but it isn't too bad. Your navigation is very straightforward. So we've got your move here, we got zooming here. You can also do the same thing with Alt middle mouse button. As you can see, the performance is pretty solid. Let's see, which one is it? So we're very zoomed in on the pixel. You go into a fat pixel grid here, so you can do a ton of detail. But again, we have good performance and speed here as well, and that is because we do have WebGL support here. On top of that, we also have a number of different languages are supported for translations, so chances are your language is probably on here. You can also create your own translation if you so wish. We do have theming support, so we can change out the way things look for people that like dark mode versus light mode, and so on. That's definitely nice to see. So there's your various tools over here. We have the rulers turned on right now. We've got a lot of control over our actual view. So we come up here, we can turn rulers back off if you so wished. We've got full tab support like this. You can see I've got two different versions in place. Another thing that Photoshop users use quite heavily is their various different filters. And you can see we've got under here, under the filter category, we've got a decent selection. We've got blurs, distortions, noises, pixelation, rendering, sharpen filters, stylization filters, and some other filters. Some of these you can work with interactively. So for example, I could do a liquidify filter. We're bringing into an interactive tool right here, and I can start, liquidifying. Like so. If I like what I see, I could do a reset, non-destructive, or if I like the end result, click OK, and we are back out in our world here. Another thing we could do is we come here into our brush tool. So I'm painting here in brush. We got our swatch control over here. So I can do just a straight up paint like that, come over here to bruh, and you see we've got fine-tuned brush controls, so we can change out the way things are gonna change, and we can change our tip completely, and we can switch between various different brushes very quickly on the fly. You've also got fine-tuned character, paragraph control, CSS, properties here. Speaking of which, we got layer support. Your typical layers are down over here. You can do masking layers, vector layers. Your layer support is the exact same process here. So we've done a top level layer, and then I could go ahead and, for example, draw in that layer. So we're being drawn on top. We can change the drawing order of our layers easily enough, drag and drop, and then you see it's being obscured. Or we can come back down, we can toggle the visibility. You got right click support, and you see here we can switch in between different modes. Again, we have masking, or I can just go ahead and delete that layer like I have done so right there. You see you got your various different adjustments and controls over here. So if you want to do all of this stuff that you're seeing right here, your typical thing. Again, if you are from a Photoshop background, the layer tools and all of this stuff is going to feel very, very, very familiar to you because they've done a very effective job of cloning this guy. So what are the downsides? Well, first off, it is browser-based. So some people really hate that, and I can understand. I can also see a huge upside to browser-based because one of the things I found really impressive with this guy is it ran perfectly on my phone. And on Android phones, I actually find most of the image editors suck. So even if you're coming in and using this guy as a straightforward image editor like this, you can use it for things like, transforming the size, rotating the canvas around, resizing the canvas, trimming things down. You can change out the contrast. You can make adjustments to various different things here. This is the stuff you do in any photo editor. It is all there. But the cool thing, again, this runs just fine on a phone, or I can move between any devices I want. Now, unfortunately, they don't have great cloud support for their file format storage, so you're not running on their service. You're generally uploading to them. There is Google Drive integration, but not a whole lot beyond that. In terms of file formats in and out, you can actually save and open PSD files, which is quite cool. PSD is the native Photoshop document support. On top of that, we can also export and import, by the way, PNG, JPEG, SVG, GIF, PDF, and then on top of that, we've also got EMF, Web, BMP, PPM, TIFF, ICO, and DDS support there. Now, you might notice a little flickering over here. Well, that is the other big negative, and I guess it's not really a negative. It's just the model that this is monetized by. It is completely ad supported, and if you personally hate this bar being used, you can get rid of it. By the way, that flicker is being caused by Firefox going between full screen and not full screen, and not by them. We can come up here and go to account, and you can actually do a no ads version here. So that's really the only difference between the free and the premium version is the ads and this help us improve thing, which seems like a strange thing to lock behind a paywall. But you buy it in 30 or 90-day increments for either $9 per person or a scaled down amount for teams, or you see here you can do it 90 days at $20. So if you really hate this, you can get rid of it. It's fairly straightforward. I think this is a very, very fair monetization model. I don't really mind the ads. I don't really mind the uses of my space over here, but I can understand how that would drive people nuts. But if you want to get rid of that, it's $9, which compared to like the $40 it costs you on Photoshop, there's a value proposition there. Now again, I will finish this off by saying, no, this is not a replacement for Photoshop for a diehard Photoshop user. Now, I'd be really interested if any of you use Photoshop on a daily basis, especially if you use it for photo correction or advanced layout, or you're making AK textures, that kind of stuff. You're working in this like in the trenches every day. I'd be curious to see how far you could get with this guy before you hit a wall. Obviously, you are going to hit a wall. There is a difference between a free web product and a massive company's products, and I'm just really shocked by how far I think that that wall is away from the typical user. Now, if you are just needing photo editing, especially if you're needing photo editing across devices or maybe on a more constrained device like iOS or Android devices, or if you've got a Chromebook or something like that, I think this is the answer to a lot of your questions, especially for someone like with a Chromebook, because you can do a whole lot here. You can do it in a way that is immediately familiar to Photoshop users. And yeah, I've got very few negatives to say here, other than the fact, of course, it is web-based software and it has the limitations that involves. But I'd be curious to hear what you have to say. Now, first off, I know I am not, talking about new software here. This has been around for a while. This is me just becoming aware of it and sharing it with those of you that may not be aware of it. And I'd be curious to know how many of you were introduced to it today. Because, again, I was a little bit in the dark on this one, so I might be very, very late, something like 4 years late in announcing this guy. But I don't really care that much about how new stuff is. I just care about how useful it is. And this one, this is pretty damn useful. So, again, I would love to hear what you think of Photopea or Photopea. And also, let me know which one you think it is. It could be either pronunciation, and let me know which one you like better of the two I've chosen. So that is it for now. I will talk to you all later. Goodbye.